Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're going to be processing some wood for some upcoming wood turning projects. I was able to pick up over the last couple days this very large piece here, which wasn't sure what it was to begin with. Managed to find a little bit of bark on it, and I believe now it is pine. Probably, well, not going to call it old growth pine, although it does have some age on it. I'll bring it around here on the end so you can see what we've got going on. Perhaps you can see this. Now this thing is a monster. It is 32.5 inches in diameter across. I was able to cut a little slab off and count the rings, and this one here is 81 years old. So got quite a bit of size to it, and we're going to try to get it processed down into some more manageable blanks for turning. Got a couple pieces here. As you can see, you got this little limb protrusion out here. I'm going to try to cut this back, and this will make some pretty unique pieces. But the way this is bulged out here from where this limb came, this should have some pretty impressive grain in this area. So just come along with me, and we're going to cut this up and process it and get it down to a more manageable size that I can move without having to get the tractor. So that's what we're going to see in today's video. Okay, got that little piece out of the way, so now we'll be able to roll this and turn it and get a good cut. And this ought to make a fairly interesting piece, so I'm going to save that and put it to the side, and we'll turn that into something eventually. So need to make a few marks on this log so I'll have some points of reference. And like I said, it's 32.5 inches in diameter. Now I'm really want to focus on this area here, because I know due to the way this is grown, this is going to be some really good compacted twisted grain structures in here, so it should look really nice once we get a turned piece out of it. So we got 32.5 inches of diameter, so we want to make it 32.5 inches wide on our blank as well, and I'll kind of explain that as we go along why that's important. But give me just a minute. Let me make a mark here. I think we're going to split the difference there. I want to have a little bit left over on either end, enough to make something interesting out of each end as well. Let me get me a mark here. Okay. And we will get a mark right about here. All right. And I'm going to start cutting this, and I'm going to have to roll it because I don't have a large enough bar to go all the way through at this point. So largest bar I've got in my possession right now is a 20. So we're going to have to cut this from both sides. Okay, now that I've got that far through, I'm going to roll it to get me a little distance from the stuff that's behind it, and we will carry on. Okay, got that piece off. Yep, came out very nice. That'll be a good piece to work with. Okay, turn you around here so the sun's not in the camera. Okay, I think you get the idea of what's going on with that. So I've got to make one more cut approximately in this area here. Okay, that'll get me down to approximately 32.5 inches of length, which will match the diameter. And after that, I'll come back in and I'll make some vertical cuts this way because we want to get rid of the pith, this area here. So that'll leave us with a couple large slabs, and this project is actually for a large bowl and a large platter. So that's kind of what we're working toward, and then anything else we'll just do some smaller pieces as well. So I'm going to go ahead and make the other cut. I'll bring you back when I go to do the vertical cuts. So this next process is just what you saw. All right, everybody, we're back, and I've got both ends cut off now. So the piece is now approximately 32.5 inches wide to match the diameter. So got that done, came out pretty good. Missed matching up my cut just a little bit, but working with a shorter bar, that's not uncommon. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down from the top, and I'm going to stay on either side of this pith area. This we want to take out because whenever we're turning, that tends to warp and crack more than the outer grain. Now, this one still will have a little bit of movement to it, but if we eliminate that pith, we'll get most of it out. So that's what I'm going to do now. Cut down on either side. That's going to leave us with two very large blanks, which we will probably wind up processing those into pieces just a little bit smaller. But my goal on this one is to go as large as I can, and that will be the largest turning I've tried to do to date. So should make for an interesting time and some interesting videos. So let me get set up and I'll commence the cutting. This is the hardest part of cutting down a blank, because we're cutting with the grain, and the grain fibers don't split cleanly in two. You're basically pulling them out of the wood, so you wind up with strings like this, and does tend to bind up a saw. A little bit harder cutting, have to stop occasionally and clear everything out, so takes a little bit more time, but we'll get it. Okay, everybody, we've got the pieces processed up, and this actually took multiple days. I had to stop and call some friends of mine with Dead or Alive Tree Service to let me borrow a larger saw, one with a 36-inch bar, to finish splitting that piece. As was stated at the beginning, that was 32.5 inches in diameter. And I also mentioned that we were going to cut a section out of it that was 32.5 inches long, and said I would explain it. So the reason for that is that will give you the largest possible blank when you go to make a round out of it. So in the case of that being 32.5 inches, by the time I get to a round shape, that should give me something somewhere in the neighborhood of around 31 inches, give or take a half an inch or so. So that was the reason for that. And like I said, had to call in reinforcements with a larger bar. And while they were here with the bar, they were kind enough to drop me off some more pieces. Got some really nice red oak there that they brought me. And I went ahead and processed a little bit more of the large pieces up that you saw earlier. And this is the piece here, right here. This is the piece that had the limb protrusion. Here's the two different knots that are in that pattern. That limb came out down here. This is another area. So this is going to have some really nice grain and really good figure in it. So this will be processed down into smaller blanks as I need them. So we've got a lot of different options here. Many different styles of blank. These things are going to turn out quite nice. And this is a piece of the red oak that they brought. This is very clean. That's just going to be gorgeous. Not sure exactly what I'm going to make out of that yet, but we will figure it out. So just wanted to show you the end result of where we had to stop. I didn't get any footage with the big saw getting these slabbed out like this. We were trying to get ahead of some weather that was coming in, so that kind of took priority over filming. So I apologize for that, but I think you kind of get the understanding of what was going on here. So, and to tell you a little bit more about the saw that I was using in the video, I was using Stihl battery powered, the MSA 300C. Now that saw is in the professional lineup of Stihl's battery powered equipment, and it is in the AP platform, which is the professional series. And that saw from a power rating is the equivalent to a Stihl MS271 gas saw. So just wanted to clarify for you what it was that I was using to get the job done, and it does quite a nice job on this. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you. If you are a subscriber, I appreciate each and every one of you. If you're not a subscriber, I wish you would please consider it. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, leave me some comments, and be watching for future videos when we'll actually turn some of these larger pieces. That should be quite the adventure. So, again, thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day.